You guys, join me on day 0 of a 90-day challenge of building my app from zero all the way to $4,000 MRR. We're gonna make it happen. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna use AI, Codex, we're gonna use ChatGPT, all of the AI tools possible to make it happen because I am so tired of working a regular 9 to 5 job. We're gonna build this app all the way up to a point where I can live off of it and continue to build businesses on the side. So you guys join me on day 0 of this 90-day challenge. The core idea behind the app is basically just to function as screen time. You know, everybody knows Apple Screen Time. They go there to get their weekly summary of how they spent their time on their phone. Some people don't even pay attention to it, but for those of us who care enough to see how our time was spent, even for those people, sometimes they're not fully aware of how they spend their actual life. So my app is basically meant to capture that gap and fill it with a structured application that can be used to basically track everything that you do in your entire day. It's kind of similar to when you get your paycheck and pay your bills, whatever you do what you need to do with your paycheck, and then when your next paychecks come, you're like, wait, where did my whole paycheck go? So that similar feeling of I don't know where it went, it just disappeared. I know it's gone, but I don't know where it went. You could sift through your statements to figure out where it went, but that would require manual digging. It's all about mapping this same core problem of like not knowing where your time went, or in this example, your cash went, and mapping it to real life. Like, where did my life go? We've all had moments where we're saying, dang, I'm turning 24, like, where did the years go? So that whole concept of where did the time go, my app is meant to kind of capture that and help people track that and really see where it went. That is the basic idea behind it. Most people have no real awareness of where their time went. My app is basically meant to be screen time, but for real life. So I'm calling it Lifetime. It's a little corny, but once you begin to use the app, you kind of realize, you know, what the name actually means and stuff like that. So now basically just to touch on like the core idea of the challenge, I'm structuring it in 90 days just because that was like a flashy number. Could have made it 100, but 90 days is a nice around 3 months. And it kind of has to do with the timing of where my life is at right now. So the 90 days is like a number that really fits in. So the core idea behind this whole challenge, given it's 90 days, it's kind of like a crazy time frame. Really short. I've seen enough evidence to know that something like this is possible if you give a significant amount of effort and time toward it, which is exactly what I want to do. So $4,000, the significance of that is just meant to just really capture my needs on a daily basis. So then I could, you know, live off of this and then work on other things that I really want to work on. For marketing, I'm definitely going to be sticking with organic content, posting 5 pieces of content every day across Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts potentially. I'm probably going to choose one of those to focus more on than the others, but point is just to get the organic marketing set up and really starting to draw attention toward the app and the whole idea. So I'll be documenting everything honestly. I won't be doing paid ads. I'll be showing, you know, the ins and outs of everything that I experienced, the pitfalls that I came across. Of course, as you're doing them for the first time, it's not really going to come across as a pitfall, but I'm assuming that I'll run into it later and maybe some things will come and bite me in the back. I'm hoping to share all of that with all of y'all. So again, given that it's 90 days, I'm hoping to post an update every 10 days, just divide it evenly into 9 videos. We'll see how that goes. You know, we always promise a certain amount of content and then it changes in real life, but that's going to be my goal. And, you know, hopefully you guys definitely get something out of these videos. So let's talk a little bit about where I'm at right now. I will admit that I did start prototyping the app about 3 days ago. So I do have about 3 days of vibe coding. I kind of already started that structure of the app. And I did do a lot of thought process building and like how the app is going to be structured and whatnot and what I want included in the app. This is what the onboarding looks like now. As you can see, there's not really much going on there. It's basically just me dictating and letting the AI just come up with and structure it on its own. So it's pretty raw, it's pretty plain text, you know, it's pretty boring, but you guys will come along with me to see how I build out the UI and, you know, get it to look nice. So the next thing is the homepage. You guys can see here what it looks like. I think it's a little bit more put together just because I've given it a little bit more time and thought. I've been giving it screenshots of other apps and I'll show you guys those here as well. Just to basically piecemeal what I want the homepage to look like. Again, don't really have much experience designing UIs and stuff like that, but I would imagine, you know, the prettier the better, the nicer it is to look at. For me, I would want my homepage to look nice if I was using somebody else's app. This next part is actually the logging feature. This is kind of one of the main pitches of the app. is that with this tool, the way that it's built out is it could take you less than 5 seconds to log what you've done for the past block. Depending on how many actions you want to log, 1, 2, or 3, you could choose the category of whatever you've done, the subcategory, and as well as a rating of how well you feel like you spent your time doing what you did. So you could really spend as little time as you want. If you do it properly and you kind of learn the workflow, as you do it more, you'll get faster. The idea is that it only takes you a couple seconds to log. Screen time, technically, yes, it's logged passively and you don't actually have to do anything in order to make sure that those data points are gathered. With lifetime, you do have to log it yourself, but I want it to be ultra minimal and like non-invasive at all. So with a 3-second maximum log, and you do so many of those per the week, you're probably going to be spending around 5 minutes in the app per week. And that's my goal. And at the end of the week, you get this nice pretty report that you'll see here. So with this report, I haven't really put too much thought into it yet about how it's going to look, but this is one of the main reasons as to why people may want this app. At least that's what I'm going to market it as, is, hey, look at this really pretty report that I have, and now I know where my time was spent and what I can improve on, where I was most satisfied with my work, and what areas of my life were slipping away that I didn't really know that I was losing 3 hours per week on. I could then fill out those times with something more productive and important. So that's really the whole point of this app, is it's meant to shed light on the areas of your life that you did not know were sinking so much time into. Hence, the final weekly report is a cool and nice data-driven way to see all of that. So this app won't appeal to everybody. Not everybody cares about how they've spent their time, but there's a good market of people who want to make sure that every minute of their life is spent properly and productively and are ultra optimized and stuff like that. So that's what this app is meant to do, is just to capture that small market of people. So for this next part of the video, we're just going to talk a little bit about my approach to this whole problem. It may seem like a grand problem and it may take forever to do, and it's probably not going to work in the way that I'm thinking about it. But I think with enough granularity in my decisions and really breaking down each part of what has to get done into small manageable tasks, this could ultimately be very manageable. And not to mention, like, a big part of what I'm hoping to do is actually use this app on this journey, so I could really grab hold of the time that I have available to use it properly and to use it for my advantage and to make sure that nothing is slipping through the cracks. So on this 90-day challenge, it's going to be paramount that I really focus and I'm not losing time doing other random things. Of course, I'll be aware of if I'm not being as productive as I should be, but over a week, I may not realize that I'm losing 8 or 9 hours doing something that I don't really want to keep in my daily routine. So some of the lingering notes as to what I want to do the organic marketing. I plan on iterating on hooks and stuff like that, testing out the different subjects of the videos. I plan on actually surfing TikTok for key terms that have to do with my app and like the popular videos in those niches and what they are doing to gain all that traction and stuff like that. So that'll be some of my marketing research. It's kind of funny because people typically think of research as being something kind of boring and you're just reading and soaking in stuff and thinking critically. It does involve that, but it's really just surfing TikTok at the same time. So TikTok, it will be the main source because it has the highest volume of video content. Instagram Reels will probably be second up for market research. I really plan on just gathering as much data as I can from those videos and then remixing them for my content and the promotional value for this app. And if I get into the math, a little bit of the math briefly, to hit this 4K MRR, I'm going to be looking at about 350 paying customers. That amount of paying customers has to do with my current price points. We'll talk about that more in some later videos. Of course, you could just do the division and come up with the number yourself. There's some nuances to it, and we'll talk about it more in some future videos, but 350 is kind of that sweet spot for the amount of people that we want to be hardcore supporters of Lifetime and that really like the product. So 350 users is really that first major milestone at the end of the 90 days. And then of course, more growth after that. We could shoot much higher, but that is going to be the milestone that we are trying to attain from day 0, which is today. So anyways, guys, if you've watched up to this point in the video, you guys should definitely drop a like and subscribe to the channel. If you're really looking for someone to follow as they build their life and, you know, try new things, check out my previous 2 videos if you wanted to see a little bit more content about me. Those are a little bit more chill videos, but for the next 90 days, we're going to be focusing on more productive content, growing the channel, growing our product, growing our influence online as well. So join the channel, join the ride. We're going to be in this for the long haul, and you guys can come along and maybe learn something along the way as well. Thanks, guys. See you guys in the next one.